So yesterday we discussed about domain, subdomain, servers, www, http, https, everything, right? So today we are going to discuss how html works and what is html and all. Okay, and html is main basic thing that you need to know when you start learning web designing. Okay, so this is very main most important thing whatever you are working on React, Node.js. So Node.js is comes on backend, but whenever you are working with a front end, so HTML plays an important role. Okay, so when you are doing a project in React.js, when you are doing a project in Node.js, whatever it is, so HTML plays a very important role. Okay, so let's discuss what is HTML. Okay, how we are going to write code in HTML. So is it similar to C language or is it similar to Python? Okay, we'll discuss everything. Okay, we'll discuss all the things and how to write HTML code. So you all know, like maybe most of you know how to run C and all, right? So where you run, like where you write C language code, where you write C language code, like softwares will be there, right? Turbo C, code blocks. So these type of softwares will be there and you will write code in there, right? Yeah, that's what you write C language code. In Python you will have a Python ideally, or you will use some external like Jupyter, Anaconda. So like these things you will use, that software you'll use, and you are done that, right? So how to write code in HTML? So that's the first question. That first thing, like we are going to learn HTML, that is completely fine. So we are going to learn HTML, but before that we should know how we are going to write HTML code. Okay, so let me share my screen. Hope my screen is visible, right? So my screen is okay, right, for everyone? Okay. So if you have any issues with my screen or voice, just let me know by turning on my, because I am not able to see chat sometimes. Okay. So if you have any issue with my mic, or if you have any issue with audio or screen, just let me know. Okay. So okay. So let's open one website. Okay, this is simuleduco.com. As I told you, right, I told you yesterday. So how this website works? So when we hit a URL, browser sends a request from a browser sends a request to a server, and server send the code files. What browser will do? So browser just compiles that code. Browser compiles the code and it will display the website, like C program compiling, right? You will write a code. Suppose how you will write hello world program in C language. You will write some hash include stdio.h void main. Inside that you will put printf and all, print the hello world, right? And when it comes to Python, so you will write like print of hello world, like that you will write. So like that you will write this code, right? Code and all you will write in C language and Python. Okay. What compiler does it? So compiler, what compiler does is it will compile this entire code and it will print the actual content what you are trying to say to computer. Okay, so actually you are writing code in a machine understandable language. That means you are writing in a C language, that is a machine understandable language. Okay, so it will give you a human understandable language as a output. Okay, so here also we will write HTML code which is a browser understandable, and it will give us a UI which is human understandable user interface. Okay, సో దట్ ఈస్ హౌ లైక్ సి ప్రోగ్రామ్స్, పైథాన్ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ఎలా అయితే కంపైల్ అయ్యి మీకు అవుట్పుట్ వస్తుందో, సేమ్ ఇక్కడ కూడా మనకి ఏంటంటే మన వెబ్సైట్ హెచ్టిఎంఎల్ ఫైల్స్ ఉంటాయి కదా, మనం రాస్తుంటాం కదా కోడ్. సో హెచ్టిఎంఎల్ ఫైల్స్ కంపైల్ అయ్యి బ్రౌజర్ ఏం చేస్తుంది, కంపైల్ చేసి మనకి వెబ్సైట్ డిస్ప్లే చేస్తుంది. ఓకేనా? సో మరి హెచ్టిఎంఎల్ కోడ్ ఎలా రాయాలి? హౌ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు రైట్ దిస్ హెచ్టిఎంఎల్ కోడ్? So everything is fine. We are going to write code in HTML. We are going to learn HTML. That is completely fine. But how we are going to write the code? How we are going to start? Okay. So my best suggestion to write code is, like, basically we use code editors. Okay, code editors. Maybe you have heard of Notepad, Notepad plus plus, right? These are called editors. text editors or code editors, whatever it is, these are called editors. Okay, so I'll suggest you one best editor. The best editor is VS Code. So if you just go to new tab and if you type VS Code download, so you will get first website code.visualstudio.com. Just click on that. Okay, then you will get this Windows 10 11 user install and all. Just click on this Windows 11. Okay, then you will it will get downloaded. Okay, it will get downloaded, and after that you just click on that and do installation process. Okay, so this is a best IDE that I can suggest you. So because in major companies everywhere, every developer mostly uses VS Code as a code editor. Because I'll tell you why we are using code editor. I'll tell you. Okay, so let me close this tab and let me open VS Code. Before that, so let's do one thing. Let's create one folder here. Okay, so first and foremost thing, whenever you write program or whenever you write code, what you will do, even in C language or Java, whatever it is, what you will do, you will create one project, right? So you will create one project. ఇక్కడే కాదు, ఎక్కడైనా ఏ లాంగ్వేజ్ అయినా మీరు ఏదైనా ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాయాలనుకున్నప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తారు? ఫస్ట్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తారు, తర్వాత ఫైల్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తారు, రైట్? సో ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఈస్ నథింగ్ బట్ ఎ ఫోల్డర్, రైట్? ఎ ఫోల్డర్ విత్ ద బేసిక్ ప్రీ రిక్విసైట్స్. సో ఇక్కడ హెచ్టిఎంఎల్ బేసిక్ కాబట్టి మనం ప్రీ రిక్విసైట్స్ ఏం అవసరం లేదు. జస్ట్ మనం ఒక ఫోల్డర్ క్రియేట్ చేసుకొని అందులో ఫైల్స్ రాసి ఆ ఫోల్డర్లో ఉన్న ఫైల్స్ రన్ చేస్తాం అనమాట. ఓకేనా? సో దెన్ లెట్ స్టార్ట్ creating a folder first. Okay, so first create one folder. So I'm creating this folder as web designing. Okay, so inside this web design, so I'm going to create one file. Before that, I'll open VS Code. Okay, VS Code, let me open VS Code. I'll open it from here. Okay, so just open VS Code, and here in the file, right, in the file section, just click on that, click on open folder. Then you created one folder, right? So whatever it is, I created in my desktop. Okay, you can create in your desktop or you can create in any other place you want. Okay, just select that folder and click on select folder. Okay, then that particular folder will open here. So that particular folder will open here. See, web designing is open here, and from here itself we can create a files in this folder, and you can manage the files and everything from here itself. In the VS Code itself we can do. You don't need to open file manager, and you don't need to create files, your HTML files and all, everything from here. Okay, okay, so I'm just closing my file managers because I don't need that. Okay, everything you can do it from VS Code. Whatever is file deletion, file creation, file renaming, everything you can do it from VS Code. Okay, so I don't need my file manager. Okay, that is fine. Now I created one folder. Okay, I created one folder. Now what to do? So what you will do, basically, suppose you are uh, writing one program in C language. So what you will do, you will create one project folder, then you will create one C file, right? You will create one file like hello world.c, sum of two numbers.c, sum of two numbers, if it is a Python, sum of two numbers.py, hello world.py. So like that you will create files, right? Right? Open my chart. So are you following, right? No,
Sir,
nobody is following.
yes,
Yeah, just let me know in the chat. So I asked you a question. Okay, yeah, just let me know in the chat. So I asked you a question. So in C language you created a files, right, with the .c, .py. Yeah, I need a response from you because I don't know whether you are listening or not, right? Because we are not in live. Live means like we are in live. but not with the video turned on, right? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Hope you everyone is listening. Thank you so much. So in Python, what is the extension we use? .py, right? .py. In C language, we use extension as .c. In Java, we use .java, right? That is why we are mentioning .java, .c, .html, .c, .py. Why we are mentioning like this? Because we know that it is like different files like that. We know, but our system should understand, right? So because ultimately it is our system which is running the files and all, managing the files, and ultimately it is our system doing it. Okay, not we are doing it. We are just writing the code. That's it. So everything is getting done by our system, right? So that's why for differentiate the files of different programming languages, we use extensions like .c, .py, and all, right? So in the same way, we will create HTML files with .html extension. Okay. So why we are creating with the .html extension? Because browser is capable of running HTML files only. It is not capable of running C file. It is not capable of running Python file and all. Okay. It will run only HTML files because that's the only browser understandable language, and browser compiles only HTML, CSS, JavaScript files only. Okay. It can't compile C language. It can't compile Python and all. So browser should understand it which file it is, right? So that's why we are differentiating the files with the .html extension. Okay. So if we are using Word document, it is like extension will be .docx. Like if you are using Excel, it will be like .xlss, like that, right? So in the same way, HTML files will have extension of .html. Okay. So let's create one file. So in the same way, like we create hello world.c, right? In the same way, we'll create hello hello world.html. Okay. Now I created hello world.html. Okay. Now I created hello world.html. Now, okay, fine. You created hello world.html. That is completely fine. We can see that. But how to write a code? What is the syntax of writing a code in HTML? So basically, HTML have a basic structure actually. Okay, HTML have a basic structure. And how do we know that basic structure? So what is that basic structure and how we know that basic structure? Okay, you don't need to remember that basic structure. Okay, you don't need to remember that basic structure. If you are using VS Code, you don't need to remember that basic structure. Somebody turned on mic. Could you please turn off the mic? Okay. So you don't need to remember that basic structure. Okay, that's fine. We won't remember. Even if you say we won't remember, that is completely fine, sir. Then how to type here? So when you are using VS Code, you don't need to remember the basic structure and type from the scratch. Okay, you just need to type HTML. Okay, then you will get something called HTML colon 5. Just if you click on enter, so the basic structure the VS Code itself will create for you. Okay, you don't need to remember this basic structure and all. So VS Code itself, it will create all, it will write all the basic structure code for you. And that is fine, sir. HTML, you told only HTML, then what is this 5? So what is, why this VS Code is showing a colon 5? So you told only HTML, then why it is showing 5? That is because 5 is called the version of HTML. Okay, so HTML is not a single version. It is HTML is introduced in 1991. HTML is introduced in 1991. So of course, the 1991 means almost how many years? 33 years, right? So almost 33 years. So 33 years enhancements will happen, right? Enhancement will happen. New versions will come, right? So in the same way, HTML1, HTML2, HTML3, HTML 4.01, and finally it stopped at HTML5. So current the latest version of HTML is HTML5. Okay, just remember this. I told you, right? Just maintain your own notes. Don't forget to maintain that. Okay, don't forget to maintain that. And if you have any doubts in the middle of the session, just stop me and ask by turning on your mic. Okay, because when I was explaining the class, I am not able to see the chart sometimes. Okay, so don't get fear of like others. What will others think if I ask this silly doubt and all? So don't think like that. Okay, just think about yourself. Okay, think that you are in a learning phase and just ask, stop me in the middle of the session and just ask the doubts if you have any doubts. Okay, okay. So HTML is invented, like introduced in 1991, and it's 33 years, right? So in 33 years between, so many enhancements happened. Okay, so many new things they added, some unwanted things they removed, and also these type of things happened, and finally HTML stopped at HTML5. Okay, so current latest version of HTML is HTML5. So every language will have enhancements. Even Java will have enhancement. Java 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So like that we are using, I think, Java 18 now, I guess. So this type of enhancement will happen for every language. So like that it happened for HTML also. Even Python, right? Python, if Python is in your curriculum, maybe you heard of Python 3, right? Maybe you heard of Python 3. Python 3 means it is not complete name. It is Python is the name. 3 is the version. So in the same way, HTML 5 is the version. Okay. So Python 2, 2.7, 3, 3.1. So these are the versions. Okay. That is not a name of the language. Python is the name of a language. 3, 2.7, 3.1, everything are called versions. But that means why these versions come? It's like Robo 2.0 or 1.0. So like this it will be there, right? That means upgraded versions, or some removing unwanted things and all, adding new things. So these type of things happen. That is called like enhancement for the language. So these type of things happen, and HTML stopped at HTML5. Okay, so that's why you have to type like HTML:5. If you click on that, then basic HTML structure will get created. Okay, uh, did you got my point? So are you following me? Are you following me? Just let me know. Are you following me or not? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, thank you. So if you have any doubts, without any hesitation, just stop me and ask. Okay. So I'll try to see chart in the middle. Okay. So okay. So the code is created. The basic HTML structure is getting created by VS Code, and that is completely fine. And we don't need to remember this code, right? But one most important thing is why we need, like, why we are writing this code. That we should know why we are writing this code. Even we don't need to remember this part, we should know what is the meaning of this part, why we are writing these things, why the syntax is like this. It's looking like very difficult than C language and Python, right? Looking very difficult when compared to C language, Python, even Java, the syntax and all. But trust me guys, it is very 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 simple, very simple. Okay, and compared to all other languages, web designing is very simple. So I'll tell you from line 1 to line 11. So we have these lines, right? So from line 1 to line 11, so we'll discuss each and every line, why we are writing this. So why we are writing these things. So let's discuss each and every line. Okay, before that, I'll tell you one more thing. HTML is a tag based language. That means everything you write in HTML you will write in tags. What is a tag? So that is good. Everything, the HTML is a tag based language. It's a very classic name, it's superb, and that is completely fine. What is a tag? How we are going to write tag in HTML? Okay, so basically how we are going to write tag. So we will write tag. We have two types of tags. Okay, so starting tag and ending tag. So we'll have starting tag, and then we'll have ending tag. Okay, so how we are going to write a starting tag and how we are going to write a ending tag. Okay, so basically what is a tag? So tag is nothing but a name for a particular functionality. Like సో ఏదన్నా ట్యాగ్ చేయడం అంటారు కదా, పాయింట్ అవుట్ చేయడం అనమాట. లైక్ ఒక పర్టికులర్ ఫంక్షనాలిటీని పాయింట్అవుట్ చేస్తాయి. సో అంటే ఒక్కొక్క ట్యాగ్కి ఒక్కొక్క పర్టికులర్ ఫంక్షనాలిటీ ఉంటుంది. అంటే ఈ ట్యాగ్ దీనికోసం అనేది, అంటే ఒక్కొక్క ట్యాగ్కి ఒక పర్టికులర్ యూజ్ ఉంటుంది అనమాట. ఓకేనా? సో మరి ట్యాగ్స్ ఎలా రాయాలి? సో హౌ కెన్ వి రైట్ దిస్ ట్యాగ్స్? సో ఇట్స్ వెరీ సింపుల్. You just have to put less than symbol and greater than symbol in between your tag name. Okay, suppose my tag name is head. Okay, so that's it. This is a tag. I told you, right? Starting tag, ending tag will be there, right? So this is called a starting tag. Okay, then what is the ending tag? How the ending tag will be? So ending tag is nothing but just putting a slash after this less than symbol. So ending tag and starting tag will be same, just the slash will be different. Like if slash is there, then it is called ending tag. If there is no slash and just it is enclosed between angular brackets, then it is called a starting tag. Okay, if slash is there, then it is called ending tag. Okay na? So following me, right? So tag is nothing but a name for a particular function, referring a particular functionality. Okay, so this is head. How we will write tags? We'll just put less than symbol and greater than symbol. In between we'll write the tag name. Okay, this is called starting tag, and if you put slash after less than symbol, then this is called ending tag. And if you observe, if I open this one and if I type just head, and if I close this brace, so automatically the ending tag is coming. If you observe that, automatically the ending tag is coming. I am not typing it. Okay, I'm just creating a starting tag and automatical ending tag is coming. So that's the use of using a VS Code. Okay, so it will automatically give you, it will help you in development. Okay, so it will automatically give you the ending tags. You don't need to type, you don't need to take strain and type. So it will automatically gives the ending tag, so it will help you. Okay, this is tag. This is called tag. Like we'll write a tag name between the angular braces. Okay, so less than and greater than symbol. Okay, so this is how a tag looks like. Okay, so don't take too much to your mind. Okay, we'll discuss everything in further classes. So but let's decode this code. This our VS code created this 11 lines of code, right? So everyone like thinking that okay, VS code is already giving this code, why we need to learn this type of things and all. But important thing is you have to know, at least like you should know why we are writing this code, why VS code is creating. VS code is creating, that's completely fine. But why it is creating? Why it is creating? Because that's a standard structure that we need to follow. That's why it is creating. Because that means like this is this part, line 1 to 11, right? This lines of code will be common for every website. So for every website these things will be there. So that's why it is uh, by default it is creating. When you are creating the HTML file, it is by default creating. So even though it is creating by default, we should know why we are using these things, right? We should know why we are using these things. So that type of curiosity like we need in our mind, then only you can learn a language in a very depth, in depth. You can learn that particular language, whatever you are focusing on. You can learn that particular language very much in depth. Okay, so let's decode this line 1 to 11. So why VS code is creating we can write, right? Why VS code is creating? Because this is a common for every website. This will be a common thing for every website. Even if you uh, observe this simuleduco.com website, see, this is actually a basic code, like basic code. See, doc type HTML, meta, title, uh, body. Same thing here you can see, HTML, meta, title, body, doc type HTML. That means it will be same for every website. Every website it will be there. That's why VS Code is creating that for us, and we don't need to remember that, but we should know why we are writing that code. Okay, we should know that. So just remember that HTML is a tag based language, so whatever we are writing in HTML we'll use tags and write. Okay, okay, got my point. So following, everyone is following. సో ప్రతి 10 నిమిషాలకు ఒకసారి అడుగుతున్నాడు అనుకోవద్దు, బికాస్ మీరు ఫాలో అవుతున్నారు లేదా అని తెలుసుకోవడానికి అంతే. ఓకేనా? సో మీరు ఫాలో అవుతున్నారో లేదో తెలుసుకోవడానికి, బికాస్ చెప్పా కదా ఇంట్రెస్ట్ అనేది చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. సో ఇంట్రెస్ట్ మీకు ఉందో లేదో తెలుసుకోవడానికి అంతే. యా, యా, థ్యాంక్ యూ. సో సో let's decode this line number 1 to 11. Okay, let's decode these lines. So first one, we are writing something, we are putting angular base and putting exclamatory mark and doc type HTML. So why we are writing this line? This is, of course, it's a similar to starting tag, right? Similar to starting tag, angular brace is there, starting like greater than, less than symbol is there, greater than symbol is there, and in between doc type HTML with the exclamatory mark, doc type HTML is there. Why we are writing this line? Why we are writing this line? Remember I told you like HTML, we are using current like HTML5, right? Remember I told you that just like 10 minutes before. I told you we have 5 versions of HTML, like HTML 1, 2, 3, 4, and current version we are using HTML5. So you are writing a HTML code, and browser supports all the HTML. Like it will support HTML1, it will support HTML2, it will support HTML3, it will support HTML4, it will support HTML5, it will support all versions of HTML. And you are writing HTML code. So browser should run that HTML file, right? How does browser knows that you are writing code in HTML5 version only? Are you getting my point? So you are writing HTML code, and browser is capable of running HTML in any version. HTML1, it can run HTML code in version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4, and version 5 also. So it is capable of running any version of HTML. సో అసలు బ్రౌజర్కి ఎలా తెలుస్తుంది మీరు HTML5 లోనే కోడ్ రాస్తున్నారని? బ్రౌజర్కి ఎలా తెలుస్తుంది? తెలియాల్సిన అవసరం ఏముందంటారా? బ్రౌజర్ తెలియాల్సిన అవసరం ఏముంది? అది ఏ వర్షన్లో రన్ చేస్తా నాకేంటి? నాకు ఫైనల్గా అల్టిమేట్గా నాకు అవుట్పుట్ రావాలి, అల్టిమేట్గా నాకు HTML ఫైల్ రన్ అవ్వాలి. సో రిమెంబర్ ఐ టోల్డ్ యూ సమ్ ఎన్హాన్స్మెంట్స్ కొన్ని కొత్తవి యాడ్ చేసి ఉంటారు, కొత్తవి యాడ్ చేస్తారు, పాతవి రిమూవ్ చేస్తారని చెప్పాయి కదా. సపోజ్ మీరు HTML5లో రిమూవ్ చేసినవి యూజ్ చేసిన, లేదంటే HTML5లో లేనివి యూజ్ చేసిన, బ్రౌజర్ రన్ చేస్తుందా? సో బ్రౌజర్ ఒకవేళ పర్టికులర్ వర్షన్లో రన్ చేస్తే వర్క్ అవుతుంది మీ వెబ్సైట్? వర్క్ అవ్వదు కదా. సో వీ హ్యావ్ టు గివ్ కమాండ్ టు బ్రౌజర్ దట్ వీఆర్ రన్నింగ్ అవర్ HTML కోడ్ ఇన్ వర్షన్ 5. నేను HTML5లోనే కోడ్ రాస్తున్నా, నువ్వు మర్యాదగా HTML5లోనే రన్ చేయి కోడ్ని. HTML4లో 3లో అస్సలు రన్ చేయొద్దు, HTML5లోనే రన్ చేయి అని నువ్వు బ్రౌజర్కి చెప్పాలి. Then only browser can understand, okay, this file is HTML file, 5 version file, so I have to run this file in HTML5 only. So I can't run this file in HTML4 or HTML3. So browser, you have to tell to browser. Okay, so for that you can't tell directly, right? You can't call browser, hey browser, please run my HTML code in HTML5. You can't tell like that, right? So how you can tell? You have to tell it by commands. Okay, so like that, this doc type HTML is a command for a browser that our HTML file is HTML5 version file. Okay, సో మనం బ్రౌజర్కి ఇచ్చే కమాండ్ అనమాట. నా ఫైల్ HTML5 వర్షన్లో రాస్తున్నాను నేను కోడ్, నువ్వు కూడా HTML5లోనే రన్ చేయి అని మనం బ్రౌజర్కి ఇచ్చే కమాండ్ అనమాట. ఓకే, so what is doc type HTML? Why we are writing this doc type HTML, this line number 1? So this line is to tell our browser that our current HTML file is HTML5 version 5. Okay, సో HTML5లో నేను రన్ చేస్తున్నాను, నువ్వు కూడా దాంట్లో రన్ చేయాలి, మనం ఇచ్చే కమాండ్ అనమాట బ్రౌజర్కి. ఓకే, సో ఎవ్రీవన్ is clear with line number 1? I hope everyone is clear with line number 1. So if you have any doubts, just let me know. Okay, so that is a meaning of line number 1. So we are telling browser that we need to just run my HTML file in HTML5 version. So that's the command that we are writing to tell that browser. Okay, that is completely fine. Now, what is the line number two? So before telling line number two, let me tell you one thing. Okay, so browser have a three parts. Okay, browser will have three parts: head, body, and footer. Like a human body, just imagine a human body. Okay, so human body will have head, body, and footer, right? In the same way, web page will also have head, body, and footer. Okay, and if you observe here, you can see head, you can see body, but footer is not there. Okay, because that's not a mandatory thing. Okay, that's not a mandatory thing that we don't need to use footer every time. Okay, so mostly we'll include that footer inside the body itself. Okay, so that's why footer is not created by VS Code. That is not a mandatory thing, but this is a basic structure that we need to follow. That's why footer is created. Okay, sorry, that's why footer is not created. Only head and body is created. Okay, following me? Hope everyone is following me. So that is first line. Hope everyone is clear about first line. Then what is second line? So here HTML is there, and something called lang equal to double quote cn something is there. So if it is not there, then this is fine. This is a HTML tag, right? Starting tag, I told you, right? So the less than symbol and greater than symbol is there, and HTML tag is there. That is fine. Then what is this lang? Lang means language. Okay. So what this lang? This is called attribute. Okay. Don't take too much to your brain. Okay. Just remember that word. So this type of things that we write inside the tag, starting tag, is called attributes. Okay, don't take too much to your mind. I'll tell you everything later. I'm just giving you a heads up what is this, why we are writing this. Okay, that's it. Okay, don't take too much to your mind. We'll inject little. Okay, so second one is HTML tag. That is completely fine. We started this HTML tag, but why we are writing HTML tag? Why we need to write HTML tag? Because so we have so much content in our web page, right? We'll have so much content. So if we see this content, like, so if we see this website, so much content is there, right? Browsers should start compile from one place, right? So browser should start compile from one place, one area, like from which area it should start compiling your web page. That means we have to tell browser, from this line my code is starting from, in this line my code is ending. ఈ లైన్ నుంచి నా కోడ్ స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది, ఇక్కడ నుంచి కంపైల్ చేయి, ఈ లైన్లో నా కోడ్ ఎండ్ అవుతుంది, ఇక్కడ నుంచి కంపైల్ చేయని అనేది మనం బ్రౌజర్కి ఇచ్చే కమాండ్ అనమాట ఈ హెచ్టిఎంఎల్ అనేది. అంటే ఈ హెచ్టిఎంఎల్ ట్యాగ్ ఎందుకు యూస్ చేస్తామంటే, సో హెచ్టిఎంఎల్ స్టార్టింగ్ ట్యాగ్ అండ్ ఎండింగ్ ట్యాగ్. సో వాట్ ఎవర్, నాట్ ఓన్లీ హెచ్టిఎంఎల్, వాట్ ఎవర్ ట్యాగ్స్ ఏది ఉన్నా సరే మనం స్టార్టింగ్ ట్యాగ్ అండ్ ఎండింగ్ ట్యాగ్ లోపల కంటెంట్ రాస్తాం. ఓకేనా, బిట్వీన్ స్టార్టింగ్ ట్యాగ్ అండ్ ఎండింగ్ ట్యాగ్ we will write our content. ఓకే, మరి హెచ్టిఎంఎల్ ట్యాగ్ ఎందుకు? ఓకే, సో ఫస్ట్ నేను మొత్తం రిమూవ్ చేసి ఫస్ట్ నుంచి చెప్తా. ఓకే, సో హెచ్టిఎంఎల్ ట్యాగ్, అసలు హెచ్టిఎంఎల్ ట్యాగ్ ఎందుకు? సో హెచ్టిఎంఎల్ ట్యాగ్ ఎందుకంటే ఇక్కడ నుంచి నా హెచ్టిఎంఎల్ కోడ్ స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది. సో ఫస్ట్ లైన్ మనం బ్రౌజర్కి ఏం చెప్పినాం, మన మన డాక్యుమెంట్ అనేది HTML5 వర్షన్ అని బ్రౌజర్ చెప్పినాం కదా. సో సెకండ్ లైన్ వచ్చేసరికి హెచ్టిఎంఎల్ ఇక్కడ నుంచి నా కోడ్ స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది అనేసి మనం బ్రౌజర్కి ఇచ్చే కమాండ్ అనమాట. ఓకేనా, సో ఫ్రమ్ దిస్ లైన్ ఆన్వర్డ్స్ మై కోడ్ is స్టార్టింగ్, జస్ట్ స్టార్ట్ కంపైలింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ హియర్ ఇట్ సెల్ఫ్, like that, or we are giving command to a browser. Okay, so that's it. HTML, so actual content of our web page will be inside this HTML. సో మన వెబ్సైట్కి సంబంధించిన కంటెంట్ అంతా ఈ HTML ట్యాగ్ లోపలే ఉంటుంది. ఎందుకంటే ఇక్కడ ఈ HTML స్టార్టింగ్ ట్యాగ్ దగ్గర మనం బ్రౌజర్కి ఏం కమాండ్ ఇస్తాం, సో నా HTML కోడ్ ఇక్కడ స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది అనేసి మనం బ్రౌజర్కి కమాండ్ ఇస్తున్నాం అనమాట. సో అలాగే ఇక్కడ ఫోర్త్ లైన్ దగ్గర ఎండింగ్ ట్యాగ్ రాసి బ్రౌజర్కి ఏం కమాండ్ ఇస్తున్నాం, సో ఇక్కడ నా HTML కోడ్ ఎండ్ అయింది, సో ఈ మధ్యలో ఉన్న HTML కోడ్ని నువ్వు ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేయాలి అని చెప్పేసి మనం బ్రౌజర్కి ఇచ్చే కమాండ్. ఓకేనా. సో అల్టిమేట్గా బ్రౌజర్ అనేది ఒక మిషన్ అనమాట. సో దానికి మనం నార్మల్గా చెప్తే అర్థం కదా, వీ హ్యావ్ టు గివ్ ఇన్ కమాండ్స్. ఓకే, సో దట్స్ వై వీఆర్ గివింగ్ అ కమాండ్ as HTML starting tag and HTML ending tag to tell the browser that so my HTML file is starting here and my HTML file is ending here. Okay, hope you are clear. అండ్ ఈ HTML ఇక్కడ మన యాక్చువల్ వెబ్ పేజ్ ఉంటుంది అనమాట. ఓకేనా, సో ఇక్కడ HTML లోపల మన యాక్చువల్ వెబ్ పేజ్ ఉంటుంది. సో మీకు చెప్పిన కదా నేను, సో హెడ్ లైక్ ఒక 3 పార్ట్స్ లైక్ మన హ్యూమన్ బాడీకి హెడ్, బాడీ, ఫుట్ ఎలా ఉంటాయో, ఇన్ ద సేమ్ వే HTML will also have head, body and footer, but footer we won't consider that much, so we'll just go through with the head and body tags. Okay, first head tag. Okay, head tag. So ఈ హెడ్ ట్యాగ్ లోపల ఏం రాయాలి? సో వాట్ షుడ్ బి రైట్ ఇన్ హెడ్ ట్యాగ్? ఓకే, సో ఈ హెడ్ ట్యాగ్ లోపల సో డిఫరెంట్ కంటెంట్ ఉంటుంది, లైక్ మెటా కంటెంట్ అంటారు అనమాట. సో మెటా డేటా, ఎనీవన్ హర్డ్ ఆఫ్ మెటా డేటా? సో మెటా డేటా మీన్స్ డేటా అబౌట్ డేటా, డేటా అబౌట్ డేటా. దట్ మీన్స్ సో యువర్ వెబ్సైట్ ఈస్ ఆల్రెడీ లైక్, మీ వెబ్సైట్ అనేది ఒక డేటాని ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తుంది. సో ఇట్స్ ఆల్రెడీ ఏ డేటా. ఓకే, సో నీ వెబ్సైట్ గురించి ఒక ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ని నువ్వు హెడ్లో రాస్తావు, అంటే డేటా అబౌట్ డేటా అనమాట. సో నీ వెబ్సైట్ అనేది ఒక డేటా, సో ఆ డేటా గురించి సంబంధించిన డేటా నువ్వు హెడ్లో రాస్తావు. సో అందుకు దాన్ని మెటా డేటా అంటారు. సో ఇట్స్ నథింగ్ బట్ డేటా అబౌట్ డేటా. జస్ట్ థింక్ దట్ ఇట్ ఈస్ అ బ్రెయిన్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ వెబ్సైట్. ఓకే, హెడ్. సో మన హెడ్లో బ్రెయిన్ ఉంటుంది కదా, సో జస్ట్ థింక్ దట్ సో వాట్ ఎవర్ ద ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఆఫ్ దట్ వెబ్సైట్ విల్ బి స్టోర్ ఇన్సైడ్ ద హెడ్. అయితే ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్, మీ బాడీకి సంబంధించి ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ కానీ సిగ్నల్స్ కానీ నర్వ్ సిగ్నల్స్ అన్ని ఎక్కడి నుంచి వస్తాయి? హెడ్లో నుంచే కదా. సో థింక్ ఇన్ ద సేమ్ వే. ఓకే, సో వాట్ ఎవర్ information of that particular website will be stored inside the head. Okay, so what type of information will be stored inside the head? సో చెప్పారు బాగానే ఉంది, హెడ్లో ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ స్టోర్ అవుతుంది. దెన్ వాట్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్? I told you right, meta information first thing. So what is this meta information? If I tell you, you'll get confused now, so I am not going to tell the meta information. Okay, I'll tell you later. And my main thing is title of your website. Okay, so title of your website, suppose, so how we are going to write title? And one more important thing I want to tell you is everything in HTML will be in simple English terms. Remember that. There won't be any complex terms. So everything in HTML or CSS, whatever it is, it will be in simple English terms. Okay, you just need to know the basic English. That is more than enough to learn HTML, because everything is simple in English only. Okay, it won't something like hash include stdio.h void main return 0, system dot out dot println. So these type of things won't be there, this type of complex things won't be there. Everything will be in simple English, very very simple English. Okay, so inside head what information will be there? So mainly title of your website will be there. So title is a simple English term. So title, that's it. So we'll create a tag with title, and inside that I told you right, so we will write content between the starting tag and ending tag. So you'll write content of course between, ఇక్కడ మనం HTML లోపే హెడ్ ట్యాగ్ రాసినాం, హెడ్ ట్యాగ్ స్టార్టింగ్ అండ్ ఎండింగ్ ట్యాగ్ లోపలే టైటిల్ రాసినాం. సో ఇప్పుడు టైటిల్ నువ్వు మెన్షన్ చేయాలంటే ఖచ్చితంగా స్టార్టింగ్ ట్యాగ్ అండ్ ఎండింగ్ ట్యాగ్ మధ్యలోనే రాయాలి. ఓకేనా, సో యూ హ్యావ్ టు రైట్ బిట్వీన్ స్టార్టింగ్ ట్యాగ్ అండ్ ఎండింగ్ ట్యాగ్. ఓకే, సపోజ్ ఐ వాంట్ టు మేక్ మై టైటిల్ as Simuleduco Solutions. Okay, so this is my website title, so I am mentioning the title here, and some we will also mention the links and all everything ఈ హెడ్లో. నీ వెబ్సైట్కి సంబంధించిన లింక్స్ కానీ, నీ వెబ్సైట్కి సంబంధించిన మెటా ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ కానీ, నీ వెబ్సైట్ టైటిల్, సో ఇలా నీ వెబ్సైట్కి సంబంధించిన ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ని హెడ్లో స్టోర్ చేసుకుంటాను, లైక్ హెడ్లో రాస్తాం. ఓకేనా, సో ఇప్పుడు ప్రజెంట్ నేను టైటిల్ ఒక్కటే రాస్తున్నా, ఇంకా నేను లింక్స్ అవన్నీ యాడ్ చేయొచ్చు మనం. సో అవి ఎలా అనేది నెక్స్ట్ ఫర్దర్ క్లాసెస్లో మనం డిస్కస్ చేసుకుందాం. ఓకేనా, ఓకేనా. సో దిస్ ఈస్ వాట్ హెడ్. నెక్స్ట్ ఏం చెప్పా? బాడీ. ఓకే, బాడీ. సో బాడీ ఈజ్ ద యాక్చువల్ వెబ్సైట్. ఓకే, బాడీ అనేది యాక్చువల్ థింగ్ అనమాట. ఓకేనా, సో ఇక్కడ నేను ఏం రాస్తున్నానంటే, సో సపోజ్ నేను ఇక్కడ కంటెంట్ రాస్తున్నా, హాయ్ దేర్, వెల్కమ్ టు వెబ్ డిజైనింగ్ వర్క్షాప్. సో నేను ఒక కంటెంట్ రాసా ఇక్కడ, ఓకేనా. సో ఇప్పుడు నేను అక్కడ కంటెంట్ రాశాను, హెడ్ టైటిల్ అని పెట్టేసి బాడీ రాసి హెచ్టిఎంఎల్ ట్యాగ్ రాసాను, కంటెంట్ రాసాను, అంత బాగానే ఉంది. హెడ్ రాశారు, బాడీలో రాశారు, బాడీలో ఏదో రాశారు, బాడీ ఎందుకు రాశారో కూడా తెలియదు మాకు. సో ఏదో రాశారు మొత్తానికి. సో హౌ టు రన్ దిస్ ఫైల్. So in C language, in if you are using Turbo C, you will see one run button, and you will click on that run button, and what internally one compiler will be there, and that compiler will compile, right? Right? How to run this file? I told you, right? Browser is a compiler for running this HTML files. సో బ్రౌజర్ అనేది కంపైలర్ అని చెప్పినారు. ఈ హెచ్టిఎంఎల్ ఫైల్ ఏమో మీ ఫోల్డర్లో ఎక్కడో ఉంది, దాన్ని విఎస్ కోడ్ అని దేంతోనో మీరు ఎడిట్ చేస్తున్నారు. కంపైలర్ ఏమో బ్రౌజర్ అది ఆడ ఉంటుంది. సో అసలు ఎలా రన్ చేయాలి ఈ హెచ్టిఎంఎల్ ఫైల్ని, ఎలా రన్ చేయాలి? సో ఇట్స్ వెరీ వెరీ సింపుల్. సో జస్ట్ గో టు యువర్ HTML file folder. So just click on that, select that file, HTML file, right click, open with, you will see open with, and click on Google Chrome. That's it. So that HTML whatever you wrote, it will come here. మీరు బాడీ లోపల ఏం రాసారో అది ఇక్కడ వచ్చి ఉంటుంది, చూసినారా? మీరు బాడీ లోపల హాయ్ దేర్ వెల్కమ్ టు వెబ్ డిజైనింగ్ వర్క్షాప్ అని నేను రాసిన కదా. యాక్చువల్లీ నేను ఈ ట్యాగ్స్ అని రాసా కదా, డాక్ టైప్ హెచ్టిఎంఎల్ హెడ్ బాడీ హెచ్టిఎంఎల్ ఇవన్నీ రాసా కదా, బట్ ఆ ట్యాగ్స్ అని ఎందుకు రాలేదు ఇక్కడ? సో ఆ ట్యాగ్స్ అని ఎందుకు రాలేదు? ఆ ట్యాగ్స్ థింక్ చేయండి. నేను ట్యాగ్స్ అని రాశాను, నేను ఫైల్ రన్ చేశాను, బట్ ఆ ట్యాగ్స్ అని ఎందుకు రాలేదు? ఐ టోల్డ్ యూ రైట్. సో బ్రౌజర్ takes the code file, compiles it, and gives you output. సో ఇప్పుడు మీరు హ్యాష్ ఇంక్లూడ్ stdio.h ప్రింట్ సంథింగ్ ఏవేవో రాస్తారు కదా జావాలో, పైథాన్లో, సిలో, కానీ మీరు రన్ క్లిక్ చేసినప్పుడు అవన్నీ వస్తాయా? ఈ హ్యాష్ ఇంక్లూడ్ stdio.h మీరు హలో వరల్డ్ ప్రింట్ చేయడానికి ఏం రాస్తారు చెప్పండి? హ్యాష్ ఇంక్లూడ్, సపోజ్ ఇఫ్ యూ ఆర్ రైటింగ్ ఇన్ C language, you will write hash include stdio.h void main printf, inside that in double quotes hello world. But if you click on run, so what will be the output? Output will be hello world only, right? You won't get that hash include stdio.h void main everything, you won't get all the things. Why? Because the compiler compiles that code and it will give the actual output what you wrote in the program, right? That's in the same way browser acts as a compiler, takes the code, and it will give the actual output. Okay, following me, right? So that's why the tags are not coming, just that the content is coming. Okay, now if we observe this title, right, this title, so where we are, this one is okay. Inside the body we wrote something and that one came here. What about this title? Where is it? Anyone tell me, where is it? So we wrote a title. Why we wrote title without any use and all, like why we wrote title? Anyone can tell me, like where is it? The title Simuleduco Solutions are at Simuleduco Solutions title, right? Where is it? Anyone? Anyone tell me where is the title? First of all, let me know, like I am okay, like my voice is clear, right? And now I am getting that. If you are not giving any replies, I will get doubt whether my voice is audible for you or not. Okay, thank you. Thank you at least for this your reply. Thank you so much. So actually, if you observe here in the tab, you can see the title Simuleduco Solutions. You can see here Simuleduco Solutions. If you change here, to web designing, see, if you come here and refresh the file, see, it is web designing. So this is the title. Whatever you wrote in the inside the head, it will display here. It is actually the website title. Okay, it is a title of website. So whatever you wrote there, it will reflect here. Okay, so whenever you open any website, you will see this tab, right? Suppose if I open Simuleduco Solutions, you are seeing the Simuleduco Solutions because we kept the Simuleduco Solutions because we kept the Simuleduco Solutions text inside the title. That's why it is showing here. And why it is showing web designing here? Because we kept this web designing as a title here. That's why it is showing. Okay. So whatever you wrote in the title, it will display in the tab here. Okay. In the tab here itself, it will display. Okay. And whatever you are seeing this white part, right? So this is called a body. Okay. So whatever this whatever website you are seeing, this is written inside the body. This all the code, whatever you are seeing this white part, this is called body. Okay, so that's where we write the entire code of our website will be written inside the body. Okay, so let's, this one is very hard to remember, so that's why we'll use html colon 5. Using vs code we'll create the default html. Okay, so this is what we actually do. So this is html, I told you, right? So I'll recap these things. So why we wrote this html doc type html, that is because it is like we have to tell the browser that we are writing html code in html5 version, so that's why we are writing that. And we are giving this html, right? Why we are writing html starting tag? Because like that's where we tell the browser that our actual html code start. And web page have two main parts, head and body. Inside the head we will write the metadata, like data about data, like title and some meta information and all. And inside the body we will write the actual content. See here, title is document, right? So by default it will give document, and you can customize like as per your requirements. So if I see here, it is document now, and inside the body there is no content. Okay, so that's why everything is gone. It is showing the blank page. So if you write anything here, like if you write anything here, it will come. So if you write anything here, it will come. Okay, you just have to refresh the page to load the new code. Okay, so it will come. So if you can change here, so here also if you change this web designing, there it is. See, the title is changed to web designing. So in the same way, this is called meta keywords. So this one we are using to tell some of the details of our website. I'll tell you this meta, about this meta tags clearly later. Okay, if I tell you now, so you'll get little bit confused. Just remember that. So don't remember this meta tags, just, and don't remember this attributes also. Okay, so remember only this part. Okay, this doc type html we have to give to tell the browser that we are running html5. And this one is to tell the browser that our actual code start. It gives the information of our website. Body contains the actual content. That's it. That much simple is a basic structure of website. And this is a basic website. Now you are a web designers. Congratulations. Now you are a web designers because you know how to run HTML, how to write HTML code and all. So that much easy the web designing is. You just have to remember this. That's it. You don't need to remember. Even VS Code will give everything. Okay, you don't need to remember. This is basic HTML5. Okay. And one more thing I want to ask you. Okay. Now I am removing this entire code and I am writing just Simuleduco Solutions. Okay. So what will be the output if I refresh the page? Now currently this is old output only. Okay, because if you we have to refresh the page to load the new code. Okay, just tell me in the charts. Okay, Ishwant Reddy. Okay, very good. So just tell me in the chart what will happen. So I just remove the entire code. I removed the entire code, right? So you can see here. I removed the entire code and just write the Simuleduco Solutions. So what will happen? What will happen to our HTML file? Just give a wild guess, okay? Take a chance and give a wild guess, okay? No output, okay? Ganesh, no output. Very good. Any other guesses? Give a wild guess. Nothing will happen. No output, Lakshmi. Very good. No output. Next. I think blank page. Priyanka blank page. Pooja no output. Very good. So just give a wild guess. So most of the people, like three people said no output. Two people said I think empty page. Okay, very good. Nice guesses. Any other guesses? Only five members did a wild guess. Empty blank page. Okay, very good. So let me tell you, let me run this code doesn't exist. Okay, so let me run this page. Let me refresh it. I refreshed it. Still, you can see this output, right? Simuleduco Solutions. And title, of course, this file name will by default come because you didn't write any title. So that's why hello.html is coming. So even if you don't write anything and if you just write the text is coming. Why? If we in C language and all, in C language and Python, if you directly write hello world and run, will it run in C language and Python? If you write directly hello world and if you click on run, it will it run? No, right? Of course no. Very good Drakshani, very good Aishwini. Of course no. It won't run. It will give an error, right? Because why it will give an error? Because C language and Python have a particular syntax, like they have a set of rules for the syntax. Okay, but in HTML, remember, in HTML we don't have error handling. What does that mean? We don't have any errors. So if you miss any square bases or flower base in C language or Python, what it will give? It will throw you an error, right? So line number this like syntax, unexpected syntax, comma missing something. This type of things they will give, right? But here in HTML, you won't get any error even if you did a blunder mistake. Even if you do a big mistake, very big mistake, HTML will won't give you any error. That's the drawback of HTML, that you need to be very careful. Okay, so even if you write directly like this also, you will get output. Then why we need to write this HTML? Then why we need to write these things? సో అసలు ఎందుకు రాయాలి? నార్మల్గా టెక్స్ట్ రాసిన, మేము నార్మల్ కోడ్ రాసిన, నార్మల్ టైప్ చేస్తే కూడా మాకు అవుట్పుట్ వస్తుంది కదా. దెన్ మేము ఎందుకు రాయాలి ఈ స్ట్రక్చర్ అంతా? Because sometimes browser will fail reading the things. Okay, sometimes if you now just Simuleduco Solutions simple text, that's why browser read it and did the things. But sometimes it will fail reading the things. So that's why it's important to follow a particular structure. ఇది HTML కి default structure. సో ఖచ్చితంగా ఈ default structure ని ఫాలో అవ్వాలి. ఓకేనా? సో ఖచ్చితంగా ఈ default structure ని ఫాలో అవ్వాలి. And main and foremost thing, HTML don't have error handling, so we have to be very careful when we are writing the code. Okay, you don't need to be extra careful. Okay, just little bit careful when you are writing a code. Just make sure that the starting tag and ending tag is correct, and just make sure that the tag names, spelling and everything is correct. That's it. You don't need to be very careful, extra careful. You don't need to be that. Okay, you just need to be little bit careful when writing the code. That's it. Okay, this is a basic HTML code. Okay, that we are going to write. So we'll write, change the title as Simuleduco Solutions, and here we write, hi there, welcome, welcome to web designing workshop. Okay, so simple thing, if you run here, you can see Simuleduco Solutions title came, and hi there, welcome to web designing workshop. So this is a actual structure that we need to follow. Okay, so these are the basic structure tags that we need to follow and do the things when we are creating a HTML file. Okay, so the time is already crossed 8, so I'm just okay, I'll stop the class here. Tomorrow we'll discuss actual tags, we'll discuss heading tags, and some other tags also, text formatting tags will be there, some other tags also will be there, and we'll discuss all the tags. Okay, all the, not all the tags in HTML, we'll discuss the important tags which are needed for building a website. Okay, we'll discuss the important things which are needed for building a website, and then we'll move to CSS and all. We'll discuss some important concepts in HTML and CSS. Okay, then we'll move to project. Okay, అదే సార్ మీరు ఫస్ట్ నుంచి ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఉంటుందని చెప్పారంటే, అఫ్ కోర్స్ ప్రాజెక్ట్, దీస్ ఆల్ థింగ్స్ విల్ కమ్ under the project, like, because you need to know the most important, like these are the most important basic concept that you need to know before starting a project. Okay, that's why I'm trying to cover all these things. సో డైరెక్ట్గా హెచ్టిఎంఎల్ ఫైల్ క్రియేట్ ఇలా హెచ్టిఎంఎల్ ఫైల్ క్రియేట్ చేయాలి డాట్ హెచ్టిఎంఎల్ పెట్టుకొని ఒక ఫైల్ క్రియేట్ చేసుకోండి, హెచ్టిఎంఎల్ ఫైల్ వేసుకోవాలి టైప్ చేసి మీకు వస్తుంది, బాడీలో కోడ్ రాయాలి, పట కోడ్ రాసేయండి. సో ఇలా చెప్పొచ్చు. బట్ అసలు ఎందుకు రాస్తున్నాం కోడ్, మనం కోడ్ ఎందుకు రాస్తున్నాము, అసలు ఆ కోడ్ ఎందుకు క్రియేట్ అయింది, దాని అర్థం ఏంటి, ఇవన్నీ మీకు తెలియాలి. ఓకే, సో దట్స్ వై ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ త్రూ ఆల్ ఆఫ్ దీస్ థింగ్స్. ఓకే, so that's it for today's guys. Tomorrow we'll discuss about this basic tags of HTML. Then we'll if time permits, I'll cover CSS basic things also. Okay, so we'll go slowly, we'll learn one by one in depth. Okay,